Happy Motivational Monday. Thank you so much for allowing me this time where we can come and talk about some issues that we may have. We're going to get right into our broadcast today. Today, we're talking about you may be depressed and not even know it. We're dealing with some symptoms of depression that may not be your usual symptoms and may help you to understand why you feel some of the ways that you may feel. The first way that it may be unusual, but it's something that is very important, is you may be a workaholic, a person who has to work all the time and is always trying to have perfection in everything they do. We should always try to do the best we can, but some people who are perfectionists and expect to stay over all the time, and I'll volunteer and do this, that, and the other, and don't really have time for personal life. Sometimes that could be because of depression. What we tend to do is that helps us to not be able to think, and it's a place where we feel like we can really succeed, that I can do this work. Some of the other stuff in my life may be out of control or out of my control, and this is something that I can control. And so that may be a sign of depression. Another one that I call the smiling depression. The smiling depression is somebody who is always upbeat and always seeing all of the positive, and there's never a time when they're just like, I'm not 100% today. But sometimes people on the outside looking in can see that it's sort of forced, that even though they're smiling and happy, that they may be able to see that pain behind the eyes. And so we may be struggling with trying not to exhibit what really may be going on in our hearts or in our lives. And so we tend to overcompensate by smiling and laughing and the life of the party all the time. Nothing wrong with those things in and of itself. But if it's to the extreme, then you may need to take a step back and say, what am I actually running away from? Am I actually trying to perceive something that may be deep inside that I may need to deal with, but I don't want to? I don't want people to even know that I'm dealing with an issue. So that's another unusual sign, but it's definitely a sign. Our next sign is always seeing the glass as half empty. We just call some people, well, they're just pessimists, they're going to always see the other side of things. And it's good to have that balance, to see that glass. Sometimes it's half full, sometimes it's half empty. But if you tend to see most of the negative in things and have a need to comment or to correct all the time, or to present as, I am just trying to say, be the devil's advocate. Let's just think of it this way. And that's something that you do a whole lot. Then you may need to take a step back and see if it's not because of some negativity that's in your life and that it's exhibiting in how you deal with the outside world. Our next one is something that our next symptom is something that may be a little hard to detect, and that's loss of concentration. We all have loss of concentration at times. We got all kinds of things going on in our heads and in our lives, and then sometimes, of the month, we sort of are just all over the place. If you're a woman, you may understand what I'm speaking about. But if it's consistent, where you used to be able to focus at least on those things that you wanted to focus on, but now you can't even seem to really focus on those, and you can't seem to shut down and narrow it in and concentrate on those things that you need to, then that could be a sign that something else is going on. People that are easily distracted, which some personalities are. This is general. I want you to understand these are not specifics, but they are very general because everybody has their own personality and way of dealing with things. But person that's usually able to concentrate, but now every little thing distracts them. And at work, they're here, they're there. They can't really settle down and focus on anything, and they may even disrupt others. Sometimes that could be a sign of depression where they have the need and their mind is saying, I need interaction. I need something positive in my life, but they're going about it the wrong way, or they can't focus because it's so much going on in their head and they can't shut it off and shut it down in order to focus on the job at hand. Always busy. A lot of us fit into that category, and we could probably say, well, I've been depressed for years because I'm always busy. I've got these kids and life is happening and parents and husbands and wives and all kinds of stuff and work and school and whatever the case may be. So I didn't know I was depressed. Yes, but that is not to the level that I'm speaking of. Always being busy is where you intentionally are always busy. If I don't do it, it won't get done. And instead of sitting down every so often and enjoying a movie, while I'm sitting down, I'm doing a puzzle, or I've got to be cleaning this, or doing a commercial, let me run and do this. And always something going on and something busy. Your schedule is always full. Oh yes, after work, I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. And you don't have a day to actually breathe or to take even an hour or two to breathe, then that could be a sign of depression. Lots of times we keep ourselves busy because we don't want those quiet times. We don't want to think. We don't want to just be alone and be by ourselves because things just may overwhelm us if we take that time and be still. But it's very important that you do take that time because not taking that time, sooner or later, you're going to crash. And so always being busy and always your mind is busy. I know I've talked to people who, they can't sleep well because stuff is always going on in their head. They're always thinking, they're always going, they're always, always. That's a sign that there may be some things in your life that are out of control and you're trying to control certain situations, and it can lead to a crash and burn. The loss of interest in any sexual activity. Sometimes when you're depressed or you have a whole lot going on that's overwhelming you, that's a true sign. If you have been sexually active in the past with your mate and now you just don't have an interest, I'm tired all the time, I have a headache, I don't want to be bothered, they don't attract me, whatever the case may be, but it wasn't always like that. If it was always like that, or if it has been a gradual thing, then that's something else. But if it hasn't, and you find now I'm just not interested in all, then you may need to take a step back because that's also trying to get that control over your life. And when you don't see yourself functioning to the level you would like to, then you can lose interest in any kind of sexual activity. And that affects you and it also affects your mate. The last is being extra anxious about things. I know right now we're living in a world that's so full of turmoil and we have no idea when it's going to end or how it's going to end or if it's going to end. So we can have a lot of healthy anxiety, but when we have extra anxiety, that can be a sign of depression as well. When everything changes and you're worried about this and we know, yes, I'll use example. of the epidemic that we're going through right now is, yes, you need to wear a mask and you need to clean your hands and be extra careful. But if somebody, they have to have an extra gown on and they need covers on their shoes and they're not doing surgery and they don't want anybody to touch the door handle, or if they do, they have gloves on. And if somebody touches the door handle, they don't even want to open the door, even if they have gloves on. All of those kinds of extra things. Those may not be good examples, but you understand what I mean. Then those are signs of depression. As we look at this generally, as a whole, I think one thing rings true is when you feel like your life is out of control in some kind of a way and you're trying to get control. That would be the word that I would use. Being a workaholic, you're trying to control your work environment. I want it perfect. I want it done. I need to do it. I've got all of this. If I don't do it, it won't get done at work. That's control, or feeling like the lack of control. The smiling depression, as I said, that's I want to present this way, so I'm in control of the situation. I don't want a person to know that actually, I don't have control of my life, and there's lots of different things that's going on. That's trying to control the situation. Always seeing that glass is half empty, that's trying to control the situation. Is let me just put a negative blanket over everything already, okay? And that way, I don't need to expect anything else positive. It's going to be negative. Everything is anyway. It's not going to turn out good. All of those things. That may be what you're feeling inside, is nothing is going to ever change. Nothing is going to ever be right. And so I can have control by declaring that everything is wrong and it's going to stay wrong. The loss of concentration, as I said, that sign of depression is also trying to get control of your life, okay? Is losing concentration and concentrating on other things, and your mind is wandering here, there, and everywhere. You're actually trying to get control, but you can't. And it is showing in everything else. So sometimes with the loss of concentration, you start focusing on this, that, and the other, or getting your hand in this pot and this pot and that pot, because you can't seem to settle down and focus on one thing. You have lost control. Always being busy. As I said, busy to the extreme. That's definitely a sign of trying to throw those things in. I have to be the mediator. I have to pick up everything. I have to do all of the cleaning. I've got to take care of this. I have to go here. I have to go there. Or, I love to cook, and so I'm gonna cook for this person, and then the sister, whoever down the street, she needs this and that and the other. Always something that's trying to get that control of your life, or feeling like if I'm not in control, I don't know what may happen. And then lastly, the last two is the loss of a sexual drive. That's trying to control as well. Is I'm not feeling this, so I don't want to be bothered at all. And I've lost all of that because inwardly I'm not feeling good about myself. I've lost control of myself. And then the last one is being extra anxious about everything. Things that are out of our control, that we can't control, but we want to. So as you look at these different signs of the unusual ways that depression can affect our lives, I'm hoping today that you take time. It's important that you take time and just breathe and think about the different ways that your circle of friends may see you, that you may see yourself, that your work family may see you and say, I need to take this step back. It may be great to write out things that drive you and see, is this too extreme? Is this something else that's going on? And dig deep inside. Writing out something is great. Recording yourself. This is really how I feel. And looking at yourself. Taking a good look. When I say a look in a mirror at yourself, is my shoulders are tight and I have a constant frown, or I'm trying to smile, but I see that it's forced. All of those things. It's important that you stop and take a look at where you are in life. And if you need help, then sometimes you need a professional help. It is nothing at all wrong or shameful about that. We all, at certain times in our lives, need help. And so wherever you can get that help, it's important that you do it. And the most important thing is, don't deny it. Oh, no, it's going to be okay. Oh, it's just a phase. No, because it can lead to extreme depression, which can lead to other things where you're not able to function as you would like to or as you should. So it's not good to just ignore it. Tell people, I'm struggling. I'm having a problem. If you see something in me, let me know. I'm trying to get my life in better balance, and I see this out of balance. Your boss may be like, yes, we can depend on Janet or Bill or Sue because they're going to always be there. You may have to tell your boss, yes, I'm always there because I'm running away, or because I'm seeking approval, affection, appreciation, whatever the case may be. And so I'm going to take a little step back, and I'm going to let other people do some of the work. And I'm going to take a little bit of time for myself. I hope that I've been able to bring some issues up that you may not have thought about, or that you may have thought about but may have forgotten, and that you can take that time and go down that list and see where you may be out of balance, and do those things that it's going to take to get in balance. I have an email address. If you would like to email me to ask me questions or to make comments, I welcome that. The email address is united4life54@gmail.com. UNITEDFORLIFE54@gmail.com. This is Renee Mobley with our Motivational Monday moments. And I hope that you've gotten something out of it. And I look forward to you coming back again.